Hey guys and gals, welcome back to the Farmer and Sons Garage channel. Alright, so we were actually planning on doing a lot of work on Pickle yesterday and putting a video out of doing some progress on it, working some more on the front clip. I think we mentioned already that the radiator core support on this truck was so rough. We thought about trying to use it, but it's really too far gone. The corners of it are eaten out. The bottom of it's completely rusted away. So we knew we were going to have to get a core support. And then on the doors where the vent windows are, the little where the handle that locks the vent window closed on Laban's doors, those are both broken off, rusted off. And the vent windows stay open. So we knew we were going to have to get those little the rods that go from the top to the bottom of the door with the little handle that shuts the vent window. So we knew we were going to have to look for those as well, you know, to finish up the project. So Laban was on his way over to the house yesterday morning. I'd gotten up and, you know, was sitting in the house, got on Facebook for a minute and clicked on Marketplace, because there's a couple of things we're always looking for. We're always looking for a Grand Marquis bench seat to put in Laban's truck, because he wants a bench seat like I've got in mine, or, you know, maybe a town car seat. So anyway, as soon as I click on Marketplace, an ad popped up that was fresh from yesterday that said old Ford truck. And when we post this video, I'll have Laban toss that picture of the ad up. I sent it straight to him immediately, called and asked him where he was. He said, I'm on the way over to your house to work on the truck. And I said, well, we may have a change of plans. We might have a truck we want to go look at. It didn't have a title, so it was going to be for parts only. We might be able to work something out though on something going on with that. We'll see. We'll talk more about that. But anyway, that started off an adventure yesterday where we messaged the lady, called the lady, got her to give us her address. It was about an hour and 20 minutes up the road from us, near Wytheville, Virginia. But anyway, we will do a time-lapse video that will show you kind of the process. We had to cut a tree down that was in front of it. I had to cut a tree down right on the ground in front of it to be able to pull it over. There was another tree that was grown against the passenger door. It's got some scuff and marks on the door where that tree is actually grown over and was touching the door. Thankfully, it grew away from it a little as it went up, so we were able to pull it away and didn't have to cut it down. But we had to take chainsaw, an axe, some come-alongs, the winch on my Jeep. I took my Jeep because I knew we were going to have to winch it out. It was way up in the woods on this lady's property and had been sitting there for 17 years. Didn't have a title. It was one her husband was trying to work on for someone else. That guy passed away. Her husband passed away. She was at a point where she just needed to get some money. So we were able to go up and talk with her. But anyway, we will show you the time lapse of everything that took place. Other than we didn't get any footage of cutting the tree down and a few other things we had to do, moving some stuff around. There was a bunch of tires and wheels stacked against it we had to move, and just clearing everything out so we could get it out of the woods. But we'll show you the time lapse of that, and then we'll come back and finish up this video. So you just watched all the time lapse. We were able to get it out of the woods. The lady we dealt with was so nice, just a great person. A lot of times you get crazy stuff on Marketplace, but we were able to jump on this. She was really fair with the negotiation, got it for way less than I actually expected we would. She was super good to deal with. and brought it home. The core support is in really good shape. It's got a couple of spots on here that are just minor compared to what Laban's, what Pickle is. Pickle is completely eat out up through there. There was nothing left on the bottom of it under the radiator down at the bottom. This one's in great shape for what we need, and this has the 2 door dividers that splits from the glass, the regular window glass, and the vent window. Both of those are in great shape with the little handles, and they work good. The passenger door won't open at the current time because the fender has dropped down and is hanging to where it's blocking it. We'll have to actually pull the fender off to be able to get the door open. Can't really push the fender in to get it open. Again, the hood will not close or will not go up further. The hinges have kind of rusted in place. I've shot a lot of PB blaster on them this morning and letting them set, but they're still, I'm going to do that several times probably to see if they'll ever work. I don't want to mess the hood up by trying to close it because this hood's actually in pretty good shape and it's got killer patina. So we may end up, we may part some of this out, but we're going to try to use as many pieces as we can for ourselves and keep some items off of it for ourselves. I may even try to keep that bed to use. It's got a step side bed. The driver's side is in rough shape here around where the spare tire carrier is, and down at the bottom where the fender joins the step, that's rusted out, which is typical. Especially this one had been sitting 17 years. The license plates on it were from 1984, Virginia plates from 84. And the guy that owned it last was from down and around Blountville or Kingsport, Tennessee. Tailgate's in pretty good shape. It's got a few little holes over here, which is not bad at all. The chains still have the little rubber things on them. So those probably were replaced back in the 80s, I'm guessing. I'm sure those aren't, I wouldn't think those would have lasted all the way from the 50s. They put a hitch through the bumper. Somebody made a through the bumper hitch, like a homemade job. This passenger side fender is in great shape, and as you can see over there on that side of the bed, the holes where the fender joins the side of the bed, this side of the bed is solid. There's no holes. I think it's got all the rails. No, that one's rusted out. A couple of them rusted out. The little bed, these little rails that hold the or kind of cover the wood floor, most of those are still in there and actually in fairly decent shape, considering they set out in the weather and had most of this stuff. There was piles of stuff in here when we left, but it was blowing itself off. We had over 70 miles on the interstate. Our buddy, the youth pastor at our church, Jason, we volunteered him for us to use his Chevy truck and his car trailer to pull this back. Oh, it's got 3 of the bottle cap hubcaps on it. You can, the dash looks like it's in fairly decent shape. I may try to open that door on that side. I apologize, I'm standing on the other side talking. Hopefully y'all can hear me. The back of the cab is eaten out, so the cab itself's not in really good shape outside. Don't know about these steps yet. I mean, at least this stuff's not falling through, and I think the steps may be in fairly decent shape here. Cobwebs, there's snake skins. There's the snake skin hanging in the back window that is still hanging there on that little, I think that may be a vine that grew into the truck. This thing was covered. There's more snake skin in the floor over in the passenger floor. Oh, and there's a gun rack that's been taken off the back window laying in the floor over there near that Ford emblem, near the hood emblem. There's a gun rack laying there and the old air cleaner.
That's not the original steering column either, is it?
I don't really know.
It's red.
Yeah, but this truck's been painted over.
That's true. It's been parted several different colors.
We'll check the door. It's got the door tag. We'll check the door tag and see what paint coat it is, and we'll see if it was originally red. I mean, it could have come with a red steering wheel. If it was black outside, it may have had red interior to start with and a red steering wheel. The headliner's so badly damaged and faded out, I can't tell. It was probably white, I guess. The dash looks fairly solid, though, and not bad shape, because the front of the cab's in decent shape. Has it got the door cover? Yeah. Got both the little door covers here. I haven't checked the bottom of the doors yet to see how they are. But anyway, I guess we could call this one Ivy, since it was covered completely in poison ivy. You can see the little mark, that line going up there. I'm not going to touch it because I'm allergic to it, but That little line was poison ivy. It was woven into the window frame. I had to take sticks and try to pull that out, and had gloves on, long sleeve shirt.
Pretty wild how nature, it just grew right between.
Oh yeah, there's vines up through the fender wells.
The fender well where it meets the bed.
Yeah. At least it didn't have trees growing out through the middle of the bed. That was my concern, is that we'd have one that we would not be able to get to and cut. But we had to cut one tree down, move a bunch of stuff, hook the winch to it. That Jeep with the winch was a lifesaver yesterday.
That mark on the bottom of that door is where that tree was growing against it.
Yes. Yeah, this is where the tree was pressed against it and growing up against it, kind of caved it in a little bit. It's kind of soft there. It's rusted a little bit where that tree was pressed against it, growing, and held moisture against it. The tires amazingly did hold air enough for when we pumped them up to be able to get the straight axle that was laying on the ground when we got there, because these were kind of sunk down into the earth. But we were able to pump that up enough with the air tank and hook the winch to it and keep yanking it out. I actually had to hook the winch to it, and then I took the receiver hitch on my Jeep and took a come-along winch, or a little cable winch, and hooked it to a tree behind us and winched it so that the Jeep was kind of locked in place with a tree, holding it from sliding any far forward, so that it would actually pull the truck. So, man, that winch, we probably wouldn't have been able to got it out yesterday without that winch. We'd had to try to get a truck up in there with the chain and, you know, back it up and pull it up and jerk on it. But it's got a straight 6 engine, and I am sure it is totally destroyed now, because it's been sitting for all these years with nothing over the carburetor, nothing over the oil filler, unfortunately. So I'm sure animals have crawled in there. There's probably nuts and stuff from squirrels dropped down in there, or shells. There's probably all kinds of mouse droppings and nonsense down in there. Who knows what's been in there over the years, but I think it set, I don't know how many years, with the hood partially up. Somebody may have went up and robbed the air cleaner off of it. I don't know why they had the hood up for that many years.
No, the little original air cleaner's on the floorboard on the passenger side.
That's true. And then there's an aftermarket or a later model style in the bed.
Yeah.
That's right.
The worst spot on the hood is,
yeah, the dent on that one side.
One dent right here, but other than
this
that,
hood is rock solid, man. It's got no holes anywhere.
yeah, and like you said, killer patina.
Yeah. So, anyway, that is our new find. That'll be a project, not a project, probably. I may save the bed and try to find me a short bed truck to throw that bed on, because this side's in such good shape, and overall it's not in that bad shape, just the one fender, which I would probably want a fender without that spare tire carrier anyway. So we'll probably keep this bed to throw on another truck somewhere down the line. And of course this truck bed would work on a 53 to 56. Might even work on some of the 70s models. But yeah, this bed is in really good shape, considering how many years it's set up in the woods. I'm really shocked by that. And these doors might be salvageable too. We'll have to see once we get them off and check the bottom of them. All right, so we will end this video like we try to do all of our videos with a Bible verse, and we've been encouraging you all to post your own Bible verses in the comments underneath our video or underneath our posts. And so today I'm going to pull one from William McGuire III. And it's Revelation 3:20. It says, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come into him and dine with him and he with me." So thanks, Williams, for watching, and thanks for sharing that verse. We'd love to have you guys drop your verse in the comments under this. And until next time, be blessed.